Hey everybody, I'm Laura Gail Gamble with the City of Wichita.
And I'm Lisa Clausen with Wichita Park and Recreation, and I also serve as the Summer of Discovery Program Coordinator.
We are so excited to be here with everybody today because we're going to be taking all of your questions about the Park and Recreation Department's Summer of Discovery Camp. But before we get started, we would love to know who's joining us today. So if you would take a moment, head over into the comments section and post how many kids you have, and also include a smiley face if you're excited to learn more about Summer of Discovery. I also wanted to give you guys a quick update. We've been taking your questions about Summer of Discovery camps for a few days now, so we're going to be answering those first, but we still want to hear from you. So if you still have questions for us, head over into the comments section and post your questions below, and we'll also be answering your questions live today.
And at the end of today's program, we will be announcing the winner of our free 1 week of Summer of Discovery. This was a registration campaign that we did early on in the registration period where we were giving away a free week of camp. You did have to register during that first week of registration in order to be eligible. So we'll announce that winner today. However, if you missed that opportunity, we are offering a second free week of camp, and we will be giving you details on how to get yourself in the mix for that at the end of today's program.
All right, so you got to make sure you stick around to see if you're the person who won the free week of camp today. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Let's dive into the questions. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, our first one comes from Daniela. Daniela would like to know what types of things are done in Extreme Explorers.
Okay, so just so everybody has an understanding of kind of the format of our program, it's a 10-week summer camp program, and each week features a different theme. So we've got a Extreme Explorers theme, obviously, that this person has referenced. There's kids in the kitchen, it's game time, welcome to the jungle, you kind of get the picture. So the Extreme Explorers week, that's a new theme week for us this year. We have a couple field trips that kind of coincide with what we consider maybe would be extreme. A field trip to Urban Air Trampoline Park. For us adults, we typically think of that as extreme. The kids maybe not so much. They attend there regularly. Also, field trip to Exploration Place. Their summer exhibit that they're featuring this year is called Ripley's Believe It or Not. So lots of very unusual and odd, unique things that are going to be part of that exhibit that we would maybe consider extreme as well. So, and then there's our typical daily on-site activities, which are a big part of our program. But if you're wanting to attend Extreme Explorers, that's what you can look forward to.
Since we're on the topic, why don't you tell everybody about a few more of the themes that you guys offer for each week?
Sure. So we've got some unique programming that we feel is a big part of this program. One of our theme weeks is Welcome to the Jungle. During that field trip, or during that week, field trips to those sites would be kind of what you would think of as jungle-related. Watson Park is a field trip during that week. Field Station Dinosaurs, the new dinosaur park out in Derby, is part of that week. We've got a Kids in the Kitchen theme week. During that week, kids do lots of cooking projects. There's also field trips to the Butler Culinary Program and Cake Stuff, where they will learn to cook from chefs and pastry chefs. They'll make their own cooking project and learn from professionals there. So every week's a different theme, which makes it kind of unique. For some of our program participants, they need, all 10 weeks of summer camp daycare for working parents, but there's also people that are looking for just something maybe fun, random, here and there to do throughout the summer. And those theme weeks then kind of entice those parents because they're looking for things that their kids are very interested in. So, and in speaking about that, our program is set up so that you can register for all 10 weeks and attend the entire summer, but you also have the option of registering for a handful of weeks if you're just looking for something to do throughout the summer here and there.
It's nice to have options, and it sounds like you never get bored at Summer of Discovery Camp.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We've got a lot going on, both on-site and off-site, so there's a lot to do. So.
All right, we have a second question from Daniela, and she asked, do you have to go in person to turn in your registration forms? Great question.
Yes, that is a great question. Registration forms you can get online at wichita.gov/SOD. And the registration forms are site specific. So if you're planning to attend at Linwood Recreation Center, for instance, you want to make sure that you get those forms for Linwood. But yes, in answer to the question at hand is you do have to register in person. You can get the forms online. You can also pick up registration packets at the centers themselves, but you do have to register in person. There are some specific forms from KDHE that require on-site signing and signatures and things like that. So.
Okay. Up next we have Tiffany, and she's asking, is there any way to get an earlier drop-off time? She sounds like a working parent.
I bet she is. Our program hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. And as much as we'd like to accommodate an earlier drop-off time, there is not an option for an early drop-off time or a late pickup time. We are staffed according to our program hours, which are 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. So there's not an option to drop kids off earlier. So.
Okay. Jessica asked, what kinds of field trips are planned for the summer? I know you've touched on some of them. Any other ones you want to highlight?
We've got lots of fun field trips planned for this summer. It's a big part of our programming and probably a kid and staff favorite activity, obviously. So some of our regular go-tos for our field trips are things like All-Star Sports, Carousel Skate Center, Seneca Bowl, the Sedgwick County Zoo, this city's golf courses. We do have golf clinics that we do at the city golf courses, tennis clinics at the Riverside Tennis Center. So lots of fun field trip activities that make up this program.
I'm looking at some of the pictures go across the screen, and it looks like the kids are having a great time. We saw them doing stuff on the golf course and swimming. And
yes, and swimming. Yeah, swimming's a very big part of our program. We typically take kids swimming twice a week to the pools that are in our parks. So kids, and we look forward to that too.
All right. The next question we have is from Paloma, and this is a big one. She asks, what is the cost?
So the answer to the big question is there's a weekly fee for camp. It's $115 per week per child. We do have multi-child discounts for families that have multiple children that are attending, and those are immediate family members. So first child is $115 a week. For the second child, it is $10 off of that weekly fee, which would make that weekly fee $105 per week. And for the third child and subsequent children, it's a $20 discount per week, which makes that $95 per week. So we think our pricing is very cost-friendly. We are one of the most cost-friendly programs in town for summer camp. So we do get a lot of questions about any type of financial assistance that might be available for families. We do accept DCF assistance, which is the Department for Families and Children. It is, you do have to work directly with them to determine if you qualify for that assistance. So you'd have to contact DCF directly in order to qualify or determine if you qualify, but we do accept that. There are not scholarships that are allocated for this program, so it's hopefully a cost-friendly weekly fee for everyone, and then DCF assistance as well.
Just a follow-up question. They need to start with DCF to see if they could get that assistance, not Parks and Rec, right?
That is correct. If you think you might be eligible for assistance through DCF, you do need to contact them initially to determine that eligibility and then come to us. They do give verification of families that qualify to the parent, and then the parent provides that to us, and then we're able to accept that assistance at that time.
I know we've had some people just join us, so will you remind everybody which dates are for the program?
Sure. It's a 10-week program. It starts May 28th and runs through August 2nd. It's Monday through Fridays, so it's a weekday program, but it's 10 weeks of summer fun. So
choose one or all 10.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, we have a question from Linda now, and she would like to know, are lunches provided?
Lunches are provided. There are no hidden fees within our program. So that $115 weekly fee, that is truly the cost of the program. So there's not an extra fee all of a sudden that comes in for lunches. There's no extra fees for field trip programming or anything outside of the box like that. So lunches are provided. USD 259 is an incredible partner of ours. They offer the summer food service program out of our recreation centers and our sites that offer Summer of Discovery. So kids are able to get lunch through them during our program. They do not need to bring a lunch.
Well, we're on the topic of food. What about snacks?
Snacks are provided as well. There's a morning and an afternoon snack, and that is obviously something that we take advantage of early in the morning and later in the day when kids are typically needing a snack. So those are part of the program and part of that weekly fee as well.
Sounds like a good deal. Okay, now we have a question from Janae, and she asks, what do campers need to bring on a daily basis?
That's a great question. Campers need to just be ready to have fun at summer camp. Tennis shoes are recommended and really required for summer camp programs because of the types of activities that we do. So campers should be wearing tennis shoes. If it's a field trip day, they need to be wearing their field trip shirt, which is also provided as part of camp registration. So parents get a weekly schedule from sites that really identify everything that is going on during each day of camp, so they know what to expect. So in that schedule, they'll know if Monday is a swim day, and if it is, you need to bring your swimsuit and your towel and your sunscreen to camp. So that schedule really will identify if there's anything outside of just arriving and showing up for camp that you need to make sure you have with you.
All right. Our next question comes from Vanessa, and she asks, do you offer swimming lessons?
Swimming lessons are a part of what our city pools offer. We are no longer doing swimming lessons in conjunction with summer camp. We did that at one time. Got to be really difficult with our scheduling because of field trips and the ability for us to be at a swim lesson and not be at a swim lesson. So I know the aquatic supervisor, Brian Hill, has a wide range of options for kids and parents in regards to swimming lessons that are weekday options, weeknight options, and weekend options as well, I believe.
And so you'll want to check out the summer activities guide for those details, and then you can also visit wichita.gov and go over and click on the Park and Rec department, and you can find all of your aquatics and swimming lesson information there. Okay, our next question comes from Shanna, and she says, what type of on-site activities can kids plan to participate in?
So we talked a little bit about our off-site activities, field trips and swimming, which make up a big part of what we do. On-site activities are kind of the core of every day at camp because we spend a lot of time at our sites and at our recreation centers. So we do everything from, they are organized activities, they are obviously supervised activities. That's a big part of our programming is the supervision, and we'll talk about staffing I know here in just a little bit. But on-site activities, we feature all kinds of organized gym games that kids do, craft projects, bingo, scavenger hunts. We have a video station for kids. We have board game stations, coloring stations, big game stations where kids can play pool and air hockey and foosball. So you name it, we're probably doing it. During some of our theme weeks, a lot of sites offer kind of specialized on-site activities. That would be like cooking projects during our cooking week, or nature projects during our, Welcome to the Jungle week, games, all kinds of competitions and games maybe during our game week. Outside activities, we spend a lot of time on our playground. We've got a lot of wonderful outdoor amenities in our parks that we utilize for summer camp. We have disc golf clinics in our park. We've got an on-site presenter that comes out and does disc golf in our parks. We've got ball diamonds that we use for kickball and all kinds of fun games out there. Outdoor basketball courts, outdoor tennis courts. So we're inside, we're outside, obviously outside when the weather permits, but lots of things that we do on site.
Sounds like parents are going to have some tired little campers.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. Usually that's one of the positive feedback comments that we get, or one of a common comment that we get back from parents is that kids fall asleep on the way home. They're just wiped out, which is fun because they've had fun all day at our program. So.
And then parents have more me time at night, which is always nice.
Yes, that is nice.
What other kind of feedback do you get from parents?
I think cost-friendly programming, when you start looking at summer camps in the area, we're definitely one of the most affordable, unique types of activities that we offer. I mentioned the cooking week, where we have kids that are actually in facilities where they're learning, how to cook, and on-site presenters. We typically bring out our partners from Wichita Police Department, the fire department. Those folks come in and they do some wonderful programming, have some wonderful conversations with our kids regarding, fire safety and gang awareness. So we have a lot of really unique things that we do with our programming, and I think that's a big hook for parents. We hire and have a lot of staff return that I think really do a great job of developing relationships with kids, and that is also a pull point for parents. When kids are returning to sites, a lot of them are asking, is my favorite counselor going to be back, or who's going to be back for camp? So those types of things, I think, make us unique.
So tell us more about the qualifications that your staff members have, because parents might be curious about who's going to be watching their kids.
Sure. Our staff is required to go through a certain number of training hours each year in order to be able to work. So there's training requirements. There's also first aid and CPR requirements for a certain number of staff on board. The majority of our staff are teachers and paras, so they bring a wealth of experience with them and a great background and history in working with kids. So I feel like that's a real positive point with our summer staffs. We are licensed by KDHE, which is kind of a best practices type of camp setting when you have to follow licensure requirements that make us and hopefully keep us a very safe environment for kids to be in.
I was just going to say that, a very safe place to be.
Yes, yes, it is. So.
All right, we have another question from Janae, and she asks, are there any extra fees, such as maybe a field trip fee?
No, that's a great question, because I think sometimes, we all get blindsided a little bit when you sign up for something and then all of a sudden down the road there's something extra that pops up that we have to pay for. Our program is set up that that weekly fee covers everything. Covers field trips, covers lunches, covers our trips to the swimming pools. So it is all-inclusive, an all-inclusive fee, so there's not going to be any surprises at the back end. So.
You've named off so many different fun and unique things for kids to do that they get to do during Summer of Discovery Camp. Tell me a little bit about the feedback you hear from the kids, and if you had to pick a couple things, what would you say are the most popular activities with the kids?
The field trips are a big part of our programming, so that is a big part of the experience at Summer of Discovery. Also, I think, unique on-site programming that each center does makes it a special camp. For instance, at Linwood Recreation Center, which is my site, woot woot Linwood, we do a talent show during entertainment week. So all week the kids kind of build up and they practice, and then we have a talent show at the end of the week. We have during our art week, this year during our art week, which is very exciting, City Arts is going to be doing a program that's similar to the Final Friday program, but they're doing a kids version of it. Mm-hmm. So while our kids are attending City Arts, they will be creating art projects that will then be featured at City Arts in a kids version of a Final Friday. And parents will be invited to attend, which I think is really unique and a lot of fun. So, but just that kind of, on-site programming that we do that makes it a little bit different and special, I think is a big part of why a lot of our kids return. They look forward to that each year. I can't tell you how many kids the first day of camp come in and ask me when our first knockout contest is going to be, which if you're not a basketball fan, it's a basketball contest that we do. So we have several of those every summer, but I'll get a number of kids that will come in the very first day, when is our first knockout competition? So those kinds of things, I think, are what kids look forward to.
And that is basketball. Nobody's boxing or punching each other.
No. It's all hoops. It's basketball. So it's a basketball shooting competition. So.
Okay. And would you remind us which ages Summer of Discovery Camp is for?
Sure. It's for ages 6 to 12. 6 to 12 kids are eligible to attend. And the way, just so everybody kind of knows how the makeup of camp is, we do, as we break our campers into small groups. It's a 15-to-1 camper to counselor ratio, and we break those into age-appropriate groups. So the littles are going to be with the littles, and the bigs are going to be with the bigs. So for programming purposes, obviously, it changes a little bit when you're programming for 6-year-olds versus when you're programming for 12-year-olds. So that's kind of how the makeup of the program is as far as how we separate kids out. We get that question quite a bit from parents, is how are the kids broken up into groups? So.
Okay, and Shanna is also asking, where is Summer of Discovery offered?
Okay, Summer of Discovery is offered at 3 different locations here in the city. They're kind of spread out throughout the city. The most central location, which is my location, which again is Linwood, whoop, whoop. That is kind of southeast Wichita. The furthest west location is Orchard Recreation Center, and then probably the furthest east location is Edgemore Recreation Center. So those are the 3 sites that offer Summer of Discovery, and each site is licensed for 90 campers. So once we hit that magic mark of 90 campers that are registered, we are then full. So I know that the marketing team has done a great job of encouraging people to get out and register early. That's a big reason why you should get registered early, is because our camps do fill up.
They fill up quickly, don't they?
They do. They do fill up quickly. So we're smack dab in the middle of registration right now. So
don't wait.
Summer is right around the corner, believe it or not. So
we'll be here before you know it. So just register now, and then you have to think about it again until summer.
That is right.
Okay, Janae would like to know how much money is due at registration.
That's a great question, because there is a deposit that is required in order to register your child. So it is $20 a week per child in order to secure your spot for that week of camp. Now, just to be clear, we talked about no hidden fees, no surprises at the end or anything like that. That deposit is part of the weekly fee, so it's not in addition to it. So, for example, if you were going to register for 1 week of camp, and you're going to register for the first week, you'd come in, you would have your registration paperwork with you, obviously, and $20 would lock your spot in for that first week of camp. Then when we get to camp, and that weekly balance is due for that first week of camp, which does have to be paid prior to that week, it would be $95 that you're paying then in order to pay for that week of camp. So it included that deposit that you put down maybe last week to get your spot reserved.
So that's important. It's included, not in addition to.
That is correct. It's included, not in addition to it. But it is required in order to secure your spot. So.
And Tyler, if we could you put up that graphic again with all the prices in case people are joining us now? Lisa, would you talk through that again and how that works, especially with the multi-child discount?
Sure. The weekly fee is $115 per child. Field trips, lunches are included. That also includes the deposit that we just talked about. And then the multi-child discount comes into play for your second child or your third and subsequent children. So it's $10 off a week for the second child, and then it's $20 off a week for the third and subsequent child. So we go $115 a week. Second child's $105 a week, third and additional children are $95 a week.
All right. And we have another question now from Linda, and she would like to know, how is your staff staffed? Which I think means how many people do you have at each recreation center?
Sure. Again, it's a 15-to-1 camper to counselor ratio. So we've got 90 spots in camp. There are 6 counselors, so 6 staff members that oversee those 6 groups. And then there is a head counselor also that is hired that is kind of the overseer of the entire program. So center directors are very involved with the program. Head counselor is the point person for the program, and then there's 6 additional staff members, 1 for each of the 6 group, which is made up of 15 kids per group.
Okay, I'm sure there are parents out there probably watching thinking, okay, this sounds perfect. Where do I sign up?
Yes, so
take me
sign
through.
up. So sign up. So in order to register, again, registration forms are on the website at wichita.gov/SOD. You can also pick up registration packets at the recreation centers, and again, they're site specific. So make sure that you are registering at the site that you are planning to attend, and you do have to register on site. So you do have to be at that facility in order to register.
All right, great. Well, it looks like we are caught up on our questions, so now is the exciting part where we get to give away 1 free week of camp. And I believe we will have somebody be bringing over the names that have registered for the drawing.
Again, this was a campaign that we did. If you registered your child or your children within that first week of the registration period, your name is in this bucket right now, and we're going to draw the lucky winner.
Shake it up.
And our winner of the first week, our first winner here for our 1 week of Summer Discovery is Riley Ann Rolliter Johnson. I hope I pronounced that right. Riley Ann Rolliter Johnson. So congratulations, you have won a free week of Summer of Discovery at the site of your choice. We will get connected with you here following today's program to provide you with details on how to claim your prize today. And as I mentioned earlier in the program, we are running another 1 free week of camp special here. So you do have to be registered prior to April 8th in order to be eligible. So again, get your registration forms in and get registered by April 8th, and then we will announce that winner on our next show, which will be April 12th.
All right, so stay tuned for that and make sure you register so you're eligible. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys so much for all of the great questions, and we can't wait to have your kids take part in Summer of Discovery Camp. And if you have more questions,
for additional questions, you can contact the recreation centers directly that are offering Summer of Discovery, which again are Edgemoor, Linwood, and Orchard Recreation Centers. And I believe the contact numbers are up right now, so you should have access to those. Or you can go to wichita.gov/SOD, and you can get registration information and program information that way as well. So thank you so much.
we would encourage you guys, if you have other friends who are parents and they're looking for summer camps for their kids, please share this with them as well. Thank you guys.
Thank you.